Welcome to a special edition of the Referrals podcast. Introducing our new Daily Dose. We've assembled the ultimate crisis response team for your business. Generous leaders from around the globe teaming up to teach, guide, and lead you through this time of isolation and quarantine. Now let's meet your host, Michael J. Maher.
Hey everybody, it's Michael J. Maher with another episode of the Daily Dose. God bless technology. I love it so much, ... when it works. So luckily we have the guru on today. He gave us a helpful suggestion to making it get on today. So today I have to tell you, I'm so excited. You know, this is the Daily Dose of positivity and productivity. And so what we've really tried to do is we've tried to balance, or what I've tried to do is really balance positivity, powerful motivational messages, a lot like Sean Rawls yesterday, Todd Duncan last week, and Nick Santonastaso and things like that, with productivity, with let's get stuff done. Like, let's get things happen. Let's be really granular and go a little bit deeper on a subject or a tool that allows us to be more productive. And I will tell you, with our topic today, with our guest today, you are going to walk out with a more powerful tool to allow you to get more referrals. So before I get into that, I've got announcements. Now, first and foremost, tomorrow we have Earth Day birthday with Michael and Sherry Maher. It's Sherry Maher's birthday. It's Miles Casey Maher, the dog's birthday, first birthday. And I have to tell you that I love how nervous she has been for that. I can't wait to see what that looks like. I have no idea. We haven't rehearsed or even looked at it. Thursday is Tammy Ebright with Unleash Your Amazing, and she is a DISC expert, and she is going to talk to you how to get more referrals through using DISC, but also how are the different behavioral styles handling this crisis. Friday, special surprise guest. All I'm going to say is you are going to want to attend that. You need to make that on your schedule, 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, Database on Steroids with Dan Baltzer is this Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Database on Steroids. You're going to go deep on forums like the VIP forum so that you can go deep on your relationships. Go a mile deep, not a mile wide with your relationships. And he's going to show you how to do that. And when you start going a mile deep on these relationships, what happens is you get more referrals. You build better relationships. Time management check-in with Neil Smith is April 30th. You can check that out in the event section here on the Generosity Generation group. How are you doing on your time blocking? Well, you can do a checkup from the neck up with Neil Smith next Friday. Also, May 30 Mornings is open now at 30mornings.com or 30ams.com. Listen, you got to it's exactly what Sean said yesterday. It's what Tim Brahim said last Friday. Get your rituals right now. Like, get them ready. Get them done so that when the all clear is sounded, you've got a new ritual that makes you more powerful and more productive. Also, your action items for the Daily Dose. Like, we don't know when this is going to end. We said we were going to do this up through April 24th. Well, I may have a really special announcement for you on Friday. But here's the thing, is by the end of this, you are to have 150 people identified as your most positive and energetic people. 150 people. And you're going to have 150 VIP forms filled out. And you're going to have 150 conversations to do that. You're going to write 150 handwritten notes. And you're going to invite those 150 people to your Facebook group. And that's it, right? So, and I will tell you that if you just did that, you might be set up to have your best year ever when it comes to referrals and business. So I have a question for everybody in the comments below. I am thinking about teaching a Systems 101 class. How do you go from this, which is like handwritten scribbles, to this, which is a system checklist, color-coded, like so easy an 11-year-old could set your show up. Yes, that's right. So if you're interested in that, just put systems in the comments below, and I will teach a Systems 101 class where I will take you through the basics of systems building And I will tell you, my entire team will be on there as well. So, wow, so by the end of this week, you're going to be at 125 people identified, 50 conversations, 50 VIP forms. Does it get any better than that? I will tell you that I am so excited about today's episode. And I feel like I've already wasted 5 minutes with the announcement before we can get to the good stuff. You know what I mean? But I know we got to do the announcements. We got to keep everybody on the square. We have people brand new to the Daily Dose. Welcome to the Daily Dose of Positivity and Productivity. And with that, I want to welcome our guest today. Jeff Fitzer is a regional manager for USA Mortgage, 20-year veteran of the industry, though he looks like he would have had to start at 9 to make that happen. He has real estate franchise ownership experience and isn't your typical lender, and I can definitely vouch for that. Jeff's focus in the mortgage industry has always been around creating a competitive advantage for his LOs and himself through differentiating marketing tactics by focusing on delivering high-level content to their realtor partners and his realtor partners. His content focus is on lead generation and nurture, automation, creating and executing video content, social media, mastery and domination, and marketing and branding strategies for the agents. These principles have created an attraction for many industry leaders, including me, to get them on the Daily Dose, and is the driving force behind Jeff's current affiliation and role with such great groups as Lab Coat Agents, Club Wealth Coaching, Generosity Generation, Elopo, and has led to some of his current roles as a primary host of the LCA podcast, co-host of the Facebook show, Viral Video, and MC and speaker at many industry events. He was awarded as the top 30 video influencer across the USA and Canada by BombBomb, who knows video, by the way, in 2019. Most recently, Jeff has partnered with the Business Video School to bring a much-needed curriculum to the real estate world, teaching professionals how to do more video. Today, we are going to add a tool to your tool belt. It is the video tool. We are going to combine that with a social media focused. It is social media video mastery with Mr. Jeff Fitzer. Welcome to the Daily Dose, brother.
Thank you for having me. That was fantastic.
I love it, man. So I will tell you, you have to tell us what's the nature of this shirt, right? The Rehuman. You got to know that's right up the Generosity Generation avenue, right? So what's the background on the shirt?
Rehumanize is BombBomb's conference. So obviously I'm a big proponent of BombBomb, and I will be on their stage when we can finally get back to hanging out with humans again. And I'm a big, so I wear this shirt whenever I'm talking about video a lot.
I love it. I love it. And, many people call the 7L system the human approach to sales, and what's funny is a lot of trainers and speakers and thought leaders and people that have been on MSNBC or CNN or some others, they've been talking about now is the time to really be human. Like now is the time to really be human. And my comment to that is like, when is now not the time to be human? Like we started out human. What I love about the Generosity Generation, it's like business as usual for us. We're talking to people, we're getting referrals. Now, do we have a backup? Do we have a little bit of a pressure point in our pipeline because they're not ready to list and sell or to buy yet? Yes, we do, right? But we're piling them into the pipeline because we're still doing the communication, and people are referring more now than they were before because they can't sell it on their own. They've got to go to a trusted resource, and that's us. So I love the Rehumanize and the human approach to sales. I have several very quick questions for you so that my audience can get to know you better. Are you ready for this?
Let's go.
All right. How is the best way to communicate with you? How's the best way to reach out to you? We have thousands listening, so be careful with your answer.
Honestly, I am very accessible. So either email.
What's your email?
J, my last name Fitzer, P as in Paul, F as in Frank, ITZER.
Yep.
At USA-mortgage.com.
Okay.
You can message me on any of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or LinkedIn.
Wow.
Those are the 5 that I'm on.
Okay.
And then you are welcome to text me. I'll give you my cell phone number.
Let's hear it.
314
Okay.
220
Okay.
4945.
4945. Which do you prefer, a text message or an email?
You know, it depends on the message. I'm most neurotic about text and email than I am the messaging platforms. But you know, honestly, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're most comfortable with is fine with me.
Okay. And what's your birthday?
May 30th.
Coming up.
That's right.
And what is your hometown?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, and that is your hometown. So what school did you go to? High school?
I went to Lutheran South. I'm a little, parochial kid.
That's cool. And how would most people consider you to be? Would they consider you to be which of these four? 1, straight to the point. 2, social and outgoing. 3, steady and dependable. Or are you 4, cautious and perfectly accurate?
1 and 2, big time. I'm a high D, high I.
That's right. Very good. So you are a 1, 2, and a DI. So spouse or significant other?
Spouse, yes.
Name?
Sarah.
All right. With an H?
With an H.
So she spells it the right way.
Yep.
All right. What's her birthday?
She's April 13th. Just had one.
Nuh-uh. Happy birthday to her. What's your anniversary?
It is January the 20th. We just celebrated our second wedding anniversary.
Well, oh my gosh, you're practically newlyweds.
That's basically so, right?
How would you consider her straight to the point, social and outgoing, steady and dependable, or cautious and perfectly accurate?
She's 1 and 4.
Okay, so DC, right? She's not antisocial, but she's socially selective.
Very much so.
Okay, and children?
We have 1 together. She's 16 months. And then
wow.
I have 2 from a previous marriage that are 19 and 16. And I have a stepson who's 11.
Wow.
Just how you dial it up. 19 with a range from 19 to 1, right?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Keeps you young forever, right?
Right.
Any pets?
Yes, we have 2 Shih Tzus.
Nice. And all right, what are their names?
Mac and Coco.
MAC and COCO?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to tell you that I didn't name them. They're named after Mac Makeup and Coco Chanel. So you can go ahead and guess who named them.
Are they both girls?
They're both boys. That's
no,
the mess up.
come
Yeah,
on.
that's what I said.
That's so wrong.
That's what I said.
That is so wrong. All
Yeah.
right. So what's your favorite color?
Light blue.
All right. So like a sky blue?
Yeah.
All right. And TV show. What's your favorite TV show?
Gosh, I don't watch TV.
Yeah. I'm so
I really-
glad you didn't say Tiger King.
No, I don't. The last thing we've watched was Netflix, which was the Ozark. We have a place in the Lake of the Ozarks, so we're partial to that show. But I watch sports, and so I literally am not turning on the TV right now because there's nothing on.
Favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Non-alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
It would be seltzer water.
Okay. And what's favorite? If you're going to order a drink, what would you order?
Manhattan.
Okay. And what's your favorite restaurant in St. Louis?
Ooh, you know what? My favorite restaurant in Missouri is actually called Baxter's at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Okay. Favorite dessert?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with ice cream. Keep it simple.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, but non-dairy actually. So that'll throw you a curveball there.
Yeah. All right. And favorite musical artist or band?
Let's say Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay. Wow. And favorite actor or actress?
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay. Favorite athlete or sports team? Who do you root for?
Well, St. Louis Cardinals, of course.
Yeah.
St. Louis Blues.
Okay.
College, actually, somebody mentioned they noticed Bucky the Badger behind me here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm Wisconsin fan.
guy?
I was born in Wisconsin. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you get up early to do? Like if you had this, you would get up early and go do it, like super early.
Workout.
Okay. And what do you dream of someday doing? Like what's on your bucket list?
I'm kind of living the dream. I just want to continue to evolve it. And that is doing and teaching and helping the real estate community and the world with doing more video and social media. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing.
What would make today the greatest day ever?
Oh man, it's already the greatest day
ever, right? Like ever, like greatest day ever.
Gosh. Well, I mean, let's be honest, retire probably, but
okay.
But honestly, I don't know that I can ever do that either.
Yeah.
I really enjoy doing what I'm doing. I can't say that I enjoy the hustle of the everyday grind. But I do enjoy it when I'm shooting video and helping people with video and that sort of thing.
I love it. What is your favorite vacation spot ever?
Probably on a recurring basis, Key West.
Okay. All right, last question. So what's something like that out of the 2,000 people that are watching, like, this is different for you? This is something you've done or an accolade or something you've achieved that that is unique to you.
I think I'm pretty darn unique in the sense that in our industry, most realtors look at mortgage people and say, come on, leave me alone, stop calling my phone, ignore. And I have built a brand where I get called literally on a daily and weekly basis by realtors all over the country to help them build their business. I have figured out a way to swim upstream, and I'm really, really proud of that. And I really, really enjoy the heck out of it.
And you are so good. That is literally the perfect segue and intro into today, which is social media video mastery. How do we marry video and social media to generate more brand awareness and brand ambassadors and, of course, referrals? So, what equipment we're going to go right to the brass tacks right off the bat, Jeff. And I appreciate you being this transparent and detail oriented, So what equipment do I need to get started with video? And that's usually the first question I get. Oh my God, is it that easy?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
phone, right?
That's it. If you want to spend a couple bucks, maybe a $25 tripod on Amazon, maybe a lavalier microphone to make your sound, your audio a little more crisp, and maybe some extra lighting. Although if you know how to use the natural light, you're probably covered.
Yeah, look into the sun, right?
That's right.
And so let's take it a step above, right? So let's say, all right, I want to do a regular podcast, or I want to do more regular video. What are some things I could add to my game if I want to up my game?
In terms of equipment, that's not what you need. It's not equipment that you need. Now, you do need, if you're going to do podcasting, you need one of these guys. You need a microphone. But honestly, it's more just practicing and doing it consistently and creating more content so you become more comfortable in front of the camera. And it attracts more eyeballs. It creates more engagement.
Yeah. So I think that's what I want to talk about next is before I talk about like what to talk about and the content, is like, why video? Like, what is the power of video? Why not just keep posting? Why not just keep posting memes? Why not just keep posting photos? Or, you know what? I just want to post, like, I want to use text. What is more powerful about video than text or a photo even?
Gosh, I could talk about this for hours. So let me try to bounce to a couple different places. So first of all, social media. The reality is the younger generations, they only want to consume video anymore. The data says it, the statistics say it. I will agree that the older generations are still okay with reading, but those older generations are going to be going by the wayside, and we need to start focusing on what the future holds. And so creating video content is going to attract more eyeballs and more engagement to your social media, which is the whole point of social media, is creating engagement to play the algorithm game so you show up on people's feeds more often so they remember you more consistently.
So the video is going to tweak the Facebook game. And when you do video, more people are going to see it, and then more people are going to see it because more people are seeing it. And that's essentially how the algorithm at Facebook works. The other thing too is I've heard this, is that, a word is worth a word. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000 photos, basically 1,000 times 1,000 words, which is like 1,000,000, like it's worth 1,000,000 words. So I think there's a lot to that. And one big thing that I would just add to it, just like this, right? I mean, this is different than if you and I were on the phone. I can see you, I can relate to you, I can see your background, I can see your facial expressions. Like, this is more relational than a phone call even would be. And the nice thing about video is you could record it 10 times and delete 9 of them. So you have this ability to hone and craft your message to say exactly what you want to say. And then you can say the same thing to a lot of people. The way that we use video a lot and we suggest people use video a lot, is invitations, like inviting people to events. And invite them through a video, just say, hey, listen, I'd really like you to attend. And they can see how sincere you are. They can see that you mean it. You can put all the details in the email, or you can put all the details in the Facebook post, or you can put all the details in the text. But now the thing I love about video is that when you have one done, there's almost like the Swiss Army knife of tools, because you can use it in a million different ways, and you can use it 10 years from now. And Jeff, I have to tell you, I didn't know this leading into this session, is that like one of my pleasantly surprised, and this is where everybody in the comments below need to put PS, what are you pleasantly surprised about? Well, one of the things that I am, and what we do, Jeff, is we put, what are we pleasantly surprised about the quarantine times? Like, what are we pleasantly surprised? Something that happened that maybe, and I'm pleasantly surprised that I've been able to do these videos, these baseball videos, and the reaction that I've been getting from coaches everywhere. I just got a tweak from a Japanese coach, professional coach, who saw a video, or Happy Gilmore video, and was like, I love that, is like typing in. And it's like, what I've been pleasantly surprised is that, you know what, that video is forever. Like that video, because it's a drill. I mean, Max is not going to be 11 forever, but that drill, that is forever. It's like referrals. The 7L system is forever. What we teach is timeless truth. So it's like, what I love about this is that, I have a 7 steps to a power note video on YouTube I did 10 years ago. You know how applicable it is today? Even more.
Yeah.
Think about that. It's timeless. So anyway, I kind of jumped in on the why video, but I'm such a new raving fan of yours and video that I've really been thinking a lot about this lately. So
that's 100%.
So what do I talk about? Like, what's the content? Like, I don't think I'm very interesting, and I'm not very funny at all. So I'm not good looking like you. I'm not funny like you. I don't have anything really good to say. So what should I say? Should I not do video?
No, 100% you should do video. Okay. And so here's the thing. I get that all the time. And, there's a couple of things you can do. And I'm going to digress before I answer that question and just say just little things like, for example, you have a client base, you have your SOI, and you wish them happy birthdays. And you might go to Facebook and post it on their feed, or you might send them a text message. Just think about turning your camera on, shooting a quick little personal video to whoever it is, text it to them, and I bet you they got one that day, and it's from you.
That's
Just
right.
That goes a long way.
Differentiating.
That's exactly it. And you're showing tonality, and you're showing emotion, and you could sing to them, whatever it is you want. And it's personal, so you're not putting yourself out on social media for all the world to see. It makes you more memorable that way. Also, when you're doing email, like we talked about BombBomb, and there's other platforms, it's not just BombBomb, but when you're sending an email to a client that says, okay, hey, your contract was accepted, I need you to sign this amendment, and here's a list of things I need you to get prepared for. Put that text in the email, but imagine putting on top of it a video that explains what you typed below. It's a differentiator. It totally makes you stand out. We've had clients say, I'm going with you because of your video helping explain things. Plus, how many times have we gotten in a fight with our spouses because we can't read tone through text, right? Whether it's email, whether it's a text message, whether it's a message. Putting a video out allows you to display the tonality that you need to show to them to understand the message that you're giving them. It makes a massive difference. Good.
That's beautiful. That you've got my mind racing, because it's one of those things where you're exactly right on the tonality. In 7L, I wrote that it's easier to take a relationship from a 5 to a 1 than it is to take a relationship from a 5 to a 6 by email or text message. And the reason is because of tonality, right? You email something that you meant maybe nicely, but they took it wrong. And all of a sudden they're a 1 relationship when they were a 5. And the thing is you were trying to just take them up to a 6. Well, video conquers that. Video conquers that problem. I'll give you a great example from the mortgage world is you send over a list of things that you need from the borrower. And usually it is a long laundry list. The better the LO I've found, the more they require from the client. And that interesting is most of them try to get by with the least amount of possible. And then you have problems at closing.
Yep.
But it's one of those where it's like, I love it when the LO or the mortgage person gets on there and says, hey, listen, I know that looks like a long list, but I'm going to tell you something. We can do it now when there's less pressure. You don't have to, you don't have the home or the listing agent or anybody else hovering over us. Let's get this all done now. And who knows, I might find a little nugget in there that allows us to get you a better rate. So do me a favor, go through this, take your time to do it. And I really appreciate you, that kind of thing
100%.
Versus, hey, we need these documents. And it's a list of 27 documents, so it's one of those where that's a difference maker. And I will tell you, the thing that you really hit upon is, the differentiator in the generosity generation is simply just be more thoughtful, right? Be more thoughtful than the other person. The text message birthday video is just simply being more thoughtful than anybody else that's on their friends list.
That's it.
So that's a nugget right there. You had a third point you wanted to add to that.
I wanted to go back to your original questions. Is what do I talk about on social media? I'm boring. I'm dry. I don't know what to talk about. Nobody cares what I have to say, which is all not true. And that's the beauty of social media, is that it's non-invasive. So you can overshare. That's what stories were designed for. Mm-hmm. Stories on Instagram, stories on Facebook is to vomit your life because it's so non-invasive. But when it comes to creating video content, or let's just say, Jeff, you have so much energy and you are funny and you put out really creative content. That's fine. That's me. And that is my personality. But what is your passion? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Mm-hmm. I guarantee you there's at least one other and probably hundreds of other people that like whatever you do. Mm-hmm. And you could create Facebook groups around it, or you could just be sharing this to your personal page, displaying your authenticity and who you are. That's what attracts people to you. So if you're into crocheting, mm-hmm. I guarantee there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of people out there, probably just even on your friends list, there's probably tens, 20s, maybe hundreds that enjoy the same passion that you do, that are more likely to engage your content because it's something that it's relatable. Yeah. Like it brings them back to you. And that's the whole point that people don't understand on social media, and they kind of get in their own way, is they feel like, as a real estate agent, I need to go on social media and I need to just tell people what I do. I need to talk about market stats. I need to be the expert, and I need to talk about my listings and my open houses and take my closings. And that's all they post. Mm-hmm. Well, think about it, folks. When you open up the Facebook app, or anybody else does, or Instagram, why are they going there? Mm-hmm. It's not to search for homes. It's not even to see what you did last week. They're more interested in what you're eating for breakfast than the house you sold. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. And so that's why it's like I say it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of your content should be personal, authentic content. The other 20 should be business. You need to sprinkle it in, remind people what you do. Right. But if you understand the concept of playing the algorithm likes engagement. Yeah. So when the algorithm sees people liking, commenting, and sharing your posts or saving your posts, they say, people like Jeff. I'm going to put Jeff higher up on the feed. I'm going to put them ahead of Michael because Michael only is posting real estate stuff and nobody's engaging it. So now all of a sudden Jeff becomes more popular in the social media world, which just makes me more memorable. Mm-hmm. It's like it's the new way of billboards. It's the new way of newspaper. Yeah. It's it. Yeah. And it's free if you execute it correctly.
And deletable. Whereas you put the wrong billboard up, it's going to cost you a lot to change that story out, to change 100%. That message out. Whereas you post something that's not great or whatever, then take it off. The other thing I'll tell you on that is that, and I think I'm like a lot of people, is if somebody's really good looking, I don't buy their stuff. Does that make sense? I mean, it's like I have a hesitation. I mean, I think if you're really good looking, you're going to have more difficulty selling to certain people. And what do you think about that?
It depends, obviously.
I mean, as a really good looking person, what do you think about that? Like me, I'm just a guy who, like, seriously, if I see something that is being sold by somebody who's like, it's like they're gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I have a hesitation. It's like, well, you know what? I'm not sure about their stuff, because I think, is it the stuff or is it the salesperson? You know what I mean? I could never do what they do because they're really good looking. But what we're saying here is that it doesn't matter what you look like. And I have to tell you right now that the more rough, the more real, the more raw your video, it's more interesting. It's more interesting to me. It's more interesting to your friends to be real. I mean, if you're doing glamour shots and the background is always this perfect, beach scene, even though you live in Kansas, it's like, there's a or your jet. I love that. I just saw the guy who was doing his background was a jet. Now, here's the thing. Are you at the airport doing your Zoom? I mean, like, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where it's like, I love what you just said, because it's really about being real. It's about being you. And the content is simply you being you and sharing your wisdom. I've said on this show before that I truly believe everyone should write a book. I believe everyone has a book inside them. Like, what is the wisdom that you want your kids to know? Like, what do you want them to know and be able to read if you're long gone? What do you want their grandkids to remember about you versus what your kid says about you? But the thing is like, I believe everybody has that wisdom and they should be sharing it.
Yeah, totally agree. And so back to your model thing. I mean, obviously, big companies use it because it shows better, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is, and I say this when I speak about video, and I'm always speaking to the women in the crowd, is that I know this is hard for you, and I know this is going to get some moans and groans, but if you would shoot more video without yourself all done up, you're actually going to get more engagement than when you are done up, because that's relatable. That's the other mom or the other wife or the other professional sitting on the other side saying, that's my girl. I can totally relate to this. So like, if I am like really good looking, which my wife is, I just totally married up, but
who didn't? Like, every man that's listening to this married up. All you guys,
good answer.
If you're married, in the comments below, just put up if you married up, and just put it, right? And then tag your wife, because it's the truth. So we all know, right? All of us men, we marry upwards. That's what we do. I was
going to say, if you share more of, it doesn't matter how ugly or beautiful you are, if you just share the things that are happening in your life, that's what makes you so relatable. And that's literally what I do. And I've kind of, quote unquote, trained my family. They've gotten so used to it because they know it's creating opportunities for me in my career. So they're just so used to, we're always got a camera on us. We're always shooting video. We're always documenting our life. And most of it never gets shared. But every once in a while, we find a nugget that was like, oh my God, that was hilarious. I'm so glad somebody had the camera turned on. How many times do we say that when we're hanging out with our families? Like, oh, I wish I had my camera on. That was so funny. Yep. And that's the kind of stuff. It's not rocket science. It's just, it takes a shift of the mindset to remember, I should be documenting more, not creating, documenting more. There's the majority of my content right there.
Yeah, I love that. And
are you enjoying the Daily Dose? Want to connect with thousands of other business owners that are winning the referral game while working from home right now? Head over to the Generosity Generation Facebook group. Connect with leaders, visionaries, and business owners from all over the world. Go to www.joingengen.com. That's www.joingengen.com.
I read in Robert Cialdini wrote a book called The Principles of Influence, or the Psychology of Influence. I was call it Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. That's actually the title. But in there, he has one of his principles of influence is like we tend to be influenced more by people we like. And what was interesting is that they actually did a study on this, is that imperfection was more attractive than perfection. And what they did is they did a study with these three, above average looking gentlemen, and they had women in a two-way mirror, and they watched this guy just kind of interact. And then at the end, they rated his attractiveness. Okay. Same guy. And then what happened is they were getting the ratings, and then they get a rating. And then in the third one, they had the same guy make a mistake. He actually spilled coffee on himself. Well, what they discovered is that when he spilled the coffee on himself and kind of reacted, then guess what? He was more attractive when he spilled, I'm not saying to spill coffee on yourself in your videos, by the way, especially if it's not McDonald's coffee, right? Extra hot. But here's the thing is, imperfection is okay. And in fact, imperfection is better than perfection. And as everybody knows who read 7L, perfect is the enemy of done. So sometimes you want it to be perfect, but you actually don't do it. But perfect is the enemy of done. And I wrote that for myself because sometimes I want it to be perfect, but it's not going to be perfect. It's okay for it to be mistake. It's okay to have errors. It's okay to mess it up. And not only that, but it's great for your blooper reel. Yeah. Sometimes the best videos I've seen have been the blooper reels.
100%.
Just seeing how fun they're. In fact, we need to do a blooper reel. We need to do. Sherry just started a blooper reel.
No, I started 2 weeks ago.
Oh, she started 2 weeks ago. So it's probably got 18 hours of content, right? Because all I do is bloopers, but it's one of those that's kind of fun on that. So how long should my video be? It's like, do I do a 28, minute dissertation, or should I keep them under a certain amount of time, or what do you think?
It depends on the platform. And I wanted to say something too. Somebody asked about equipment. If you're okay with it, I will do a post and share the equipment that I use that I buy all on Amazon. I'll do that later. So you can go back and check that out on the daily dose.
Do you use a Logitech C920?
No.
What's your cam? I have to tell you,
I
love
my cam is my laptop cam right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It looks fantastic, man.
Yeah,
I use the Logitech, the C920. I've used it for years. I love it. John Lee Dumas gave me the recommendation on. I used to use the Yeti on the mic, and I went with this Audio Technica.
Mm-hmm. That's what I have.
And it is amazing, the difference. I don't get the feedback, and I don't have to make all the adjustments. It's like what, a $60 mic.
It's affordable. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's so good. So
100%.
We'll talk more about the details, and then we are, the exact,
the time you asked about the timing on videos.
Yeah. Real quick. Audio Technica ATR 2100. It's $70 on Amazon right now. That's the mic that we're using. So everybody was impressed with our mics and wanted to know the exact brand name. So
I'll share that in my post as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. So how long should it be?
So it depends. So if we're talking email, so we're talking BombBomb, it needs to be as long as it needs to be. It doesn't matter. Although when you send an email through like a BombBomb, it actually says to the recipient how long the video is. So if your video is 2 minutes and 45 seconds, BombBomb actually rounds it down and says, watch 2-minute videos. So it kind of plays a mind trick on them.
Yeah, love that.
So make it as long as you need to be. But of course, you understand that the human attention span is like this. Mm-hmm. So obviously, the shorter the better. When it comes to Facebook and Instagram, or LinkedIn, you need to keep your videos between 1 minute and 2 minutes. The shorter the better, because again, the attention spans are short. But when it comes to YouTube, it actually favors longer form content. And I'm talking like 5 to 10 minute content. Yeah. So whether you're doing a digital Maher strategy, or you're doing how-tos, or you're wanting to do a vlog about your personal life, which I'm actually doing right now while we're on quarantine, my videos are 7 to 10 minutes because that's what YouTube wants. That's what YouTube favors. So if you post a 30-second video on YouTube, the YouTube algorithm actually kind of pushes it a little bit lower than it would a longer form content video, because that's what YouTube wants. So it depends on your strategy. And then of course, TikTok is very short, which is why TikTok is so brilliant, because everybody will know now when they see a TikTok video on the other platforms that, this is only going to take about 15 seconds of my life. I'm going to watch it. Yeah. And so again, you gotta get comfortable with each platform and understand what they do for you.
I love that. Instagram actually has a cap, right, of a minute?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay, so Instagram can be 1.5 minutes or something like that?
IGTV can be as long as you want.
IGTV can be as long as you want. Correct. And then the Instagram is 60 seconds, right?
The feed is 60 seconds. Your story is 15 seconds.
Story is 15 seconds. Okay. Correct. So the Instagram story is much like a TikTok then. I mean, kind of literally 15 seconds.
You can post a minute video, let's just say on your story. You could post a 2-minute video, but it's going to break it up into 15-second increments. Okay. And then you can go in there and put little GIFs and little text and whatever. It's a little time consuming. I do it because when a platform says, like when Instagram says, we put an emphasis on stories, or we put an emphasis on IGTV, it's telling you, use this feature more, and we're gonna elevate your status. Same with Facebook.
Right. Facebook, video and groups.
Groups.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, it's video and groups. So it's like, pages are, I mean, they're there as a business card, but it is Facebook groups. They are investing in, I have to tell you, I've been watching Facebook groups since the beginning, and it is amazing what have happened in the last 3 months on Facebook groups, what they're doing on the back end of that. And now they're doing the categories. I truly believe that Facebook thinks that groups are their future, and I would have to agree with them. And then you combine that with how they're meshing with video. I mean, this is such a perfect topic at the perfect time for my group, Jeff, to be quite honest with you, is that, I mean, right now we've been teaching create a Facebook group for 10 years, Jeff, 10 years. And nobody listened, or then a few people, like Toral listened, like one person, and then all of a sudden now it's like, oh crap, I really wish I had a Facebook group, because now is the time. Now, 10 years ago was the time to build your Facebook group. The second best time is right now. And it's amazing how we can combine this Facebook group with the video. And you can welcome people to the Facebook group with a video. You can do things like this, interviews in the video with your videos, but it's amazing how much more enlightening and attractive your group is when you are using video. And Facebook wants you to do it anyway. They will reward you for having a Facebook group, and they will reward you for using video. So why the heck not use them? And I love what you're talking about today is you're saying, okay, yeah, and here's how. Like, here's how to maximize what Facebook is already maximizing.
Correct.
So you're saying that I've really kind of got, you're saying that really it doesn't matter on the length of the video, as long as it's entertaining or whatever, or whatever your point needs to be.
I think most importantly on video, if there's something you take away from this on video in general, is obviously number one. I'll give you two really powerful tips that matter that I really preach. Is one, when you're shooting video, do not hold your phone out here like this, because it's always shaky. It makes me want to throw up. I get motion sickness. Nobody likes that. And they're not going to stick with your video, number one. Number two, always lead with a hook. Give them intrigue. So when you lead, like everybody else does and says, hey guys, first of all, we're not 15-year-old teenage girls. Number one. Number two, you lead with happy Saturday. I don't know why that is. It's just it's just a part of us. It's what we want to do. Or we immediately go in with an intro like, hey, it's Jeff here. You have about 3 seconds to capture their attention. If you lead with those three, like everybody else does, they're going to move on, most of your audience. But if you lead with a hook, like what you're going to talk about, or with a question, or with a bold statement, if you're in front of a listing and you say, you should see the brand new kitchen in this new listing that I have. Hey, I'm Jeff with XYZ Real Estate Company. But that way, right off the bat, they know exactly what they're going to get. I created intrigue. Now they're probably going to stick with it because they want to see the new kitchen. And that's the kind of stuff that you should be doing to lead your videos. Doesn't matter. I mean, the length does matter, but at the same token, if you can grab them and keep them in, that's more important than any length.
That's what I hope I've been doing with the Daily Dose. In the very beginning, I say, this is what you're going to get from today, or I can't wait for you to get this from today. Now I've got to do announcements, and then I'll bring on our special guest. But that is the hook, right? So what is the hook? The hook is what they're going to get out of it. On my baseball videos, which, just so people know, are everywhere from about 2.5 minutes to 9.5 minutes. And the 9.5 minute made sense because it was a bullpen session, and my son threw 30 pitches in 9 minutes. So it made sense. And people watch all the way to the end because because it's a bullpen session. And then the drill is 3 minutes or 5 minutes long, and you can do a drill and show it in about 5 minutes. So I love what you said there, because I always worried about the length of the time. But it's like, just do it, and they'll hang out on it as long as they want to, right?
Exactly.
And the more interested they are in the subject, the longer they'll stay on, and the less interested they are, the shorter they'll stay on. Correct. But it is one of those where if I had a wish for everybody here, is that they would learn how to use the hook or the title. You really get great at writing headlines and speaking headlines, and don't bury the lead. Come from the very beginning and say, hey, listen, are you wondering about like how to sell a home in today's world? I'm going to show you in just 1 second. Who's not going to listen to that? Right. Hey, listen, I put 29 pending in March. I'm going to show you how to do 29 pending in March. I'm going to show you that in just 1 second. Right.
Yes.
And then you go into your announcements or whatever. And then here's the 3 steps to get 29 pending. We got 80% of them from referrals. We got 15% of them from our networking groups. We got 5% of them from sign calls and open houses, right? And you talk about it, right? Here's what we did to maximize that. Yep. But I have to tell you, I've had a lot of people on with a video, and it's amazing how often they didn't say anything about the hook, and yet the hook is everything.
That's everything.
And something that I've learned through the years is kind of opening with, have you ever wondered what it would be like to get 29 sales in 1 month? Or have you ever wondered what it would be like to be named one of the 100 most influential in your city? Or have you ever wondered what it would be like to never see a competitor sign in your friend's yard?
Yep.
Right.
Or if you're doing a personal video, have you ever wanted to strangle your kids? Something funny like that. People they're gonna giggle because they can relate, and then they're gonna stick with it because where are you going with it?
Yeah, I
Stuff
love
like that.
I love that. And I'll tell you, we have Julie Carrier on, who is Be Beautiful. She has her brand, and I have to tell you that it's amazing. She's on to learn more about video, and she is fantastic about video. She's phenomenal on video. Julie Carrier, if anybody here has girls, like teenage, 20-year-old, all the way down to 8-year-old girls, you need to tap into Julie Carrier, who is in the group, and she is below. And her video is Be Beautiful. She's into inspiring and raising self-esteem in young ladies, and she's the best. But what's funny, isn't it funny, Jeff, is that, like, who's not watching this? It's like, who's watching it are people who are pretty good at video, and they're coming to you to get kind of those little nuggets that make all the difference, kind of like the hook and the title. And so is there any other structure? And I know that this isn't necessarily a rehearsed question, but I'm genuinely curious. Is there any other structure that you follow with your videos other than the hook? Do you end in a certain way? Is the meat a certain thing?
Generally speaking, especially for your business videos, so your real estate specific videos, I would start, you go hook, then you intro yourself, then you tell a story. Story is probably the second most important piece of the video. Always have something to talk about, especially if it's a listing or it's an open house. Try to get something about the history of the house, or the family's journey at living at the house, the one who's selling it, because that's the thing that brings emotion into it and attracts people in, and it just makes them A, stick with your video, and B, then they just have a stronger feeling about a house, and it's gonna get more people interested than just walking them through, showing this is this room, this is this room, this is this room, this is this room. And then always end with a call to action. Always tell them what to do. Obviously, with personal videos, you may not have a call to action, and that's okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. But
I think they should. Just to practice. Like,
sure, yeah.
Friend me on Instagram. Like, friend me on Facebook.
Good point.
One of the calls to action that we use a lot on the Daily Dose is go to share, start a watch party in your Facebook group or on your personal profile. Like, everybody needs to do that right now. So it's one of those where it's like, I believe that it's like people want to do something. And what you're saying is that I really hope all relationships, everybody who listens to this, I hope all those relationships wither and die. That's what you're saying if you don't have a call to action. If you really want to build relationship, people are going to have this unasked question. And the unasked question is, what's next? Like, what's next in our relationship together? What do you want to do next? And it could be email me, call me. It could be post on here. But get really good at the end of your videos to have a call to action. And I love what you said about the story, because this is one of those that makes people think more about what they're about to speak about. And people are like, well, I'm not a good storyteller, or what. Here's what it takes to have a story. A beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
That's it. That is the definition of a story. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. It has some kind of an ending. And it doesn't have to be like some monumental, profound moment. The other nice thing about having a story is you can lead with the hook, and it's the story. You can say, what I want to do next is I want to tell you a story about a Yankee, a Red Sox, a Bloody Sock, and a guy named Kurt. And I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes, right? And then you, whatever you do, and then you go and you talk about the story of Kurt Schilling, coming in and finishing the game with the bloody sock, right? So it's one of those where, I mean, I'm on fire with this stuff. I wish we could talk for like 9 hours.
Me too.
So how do I capture more viewers or keep them on my videos longer? How do I do that? We'll do this as the final question from me. We'll do 1 or 2 questions from the group, the Generosity Generation group. And then we'll wrap up. Does that sound okay, Jeff?
Perfect.
Okay. So how do I capture more viewers or keep them on my videos longer? How do I make my videos more sticky, if you will?
So here's the thing. First of all, don't worry about going viral. That doesn't really mean anything. Like if you have a post that gets 2 million views and you don't sell a home, but you get 20 views and you sell 2 homes, which one would you rather have, right? So don't get so caught up in video views because first of all, they're not watching the whole video anyway. That's not necessarily what matters. Again, focus on the algorithm game, which is engagement. So create content that your audience wants to see. Don't overthink it. Stop thinking they want to see all about real estate. They don't. They're more interested in your life. Share your life. Then when you get the engagement, so incorporating those call to actions at the end, telling people, hey, if you loved this, share this on your page. Or if you love this, give me a like. Or, hey, what did you think? Comment below. So you're forcing or you're asking for the engagement. And then when someone engages your posts, always comment back, always re-engage them, because that's playing the algorithm game. The algorithm doesn't really, they're not paying attention to necessarily who's commenting. They're just seeing a lot of comments. Yeah. And so if you really want to be an overachiever too, to create comments that get more responses. So like give a comment that gives a question to get them to respond again. It's again, social media to me is not really social media. It's a part of my business. It's a business strategy and I use it that way. Right. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, I spend a lot of time in it every day. Yeah. But that's because I've created so much engagement and so much interaction, but it's creating so many opportunities. And that's what you can do if you do this consistently over a period of time. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
It does 100%. And I think that's the problem that I see out there is that something needs to lead to something. It's like many people, social media is infotainment or it is just entertainment, or worse yet, it's a place to go argue with people, and the thing that we need to really look at it is to, what is the opportunity? Where do you want it to go? What do you want from this? And I truly believe this isn't just video for realtors or video for lenders or using social media video for business owners. I truly believe video is a tool for everyone, from the stay-at-home mom or dad, to the college graduate, to the college kid, to even Max, who's 11, all the way up to, YouTubers are getting $1 million a year for having great video. So maybe we need to learn how to use this video thing. And even if it's not for an enterprising, we need to use this tool. Like this from now on, this is like, I'm trying to think of an example. This is the typewriter of the next generation. This is the
cell phone.
Yeah, maybe even the cell phone. I would put like way up here, right? But it's a piece of the cell phone. What is the mobile phone? The mobile phone is the tool belt of our era. And perhaps the video is the most important tool in your tool belt. I can't think of is there another tool on here that's more important? And this is coming from a guy who makes 100 to 200 calls a week. I believe the video function of this is more important than the phone part of this. It's more important than the text messaging of it. And now that could be debated, and I haven't thought through that comment as much as I probably should, but it is one of those where I'm like, that's how powerful video is because of its foreverness. You know what it is? It's the handwritten note of this era. Yeah. That's what the video is. It shows thoughtfulness. You thought about them when you weren't with them. It has lasting. Jeff, have you ever gotten a handwritten note that you didn't throw away?
Yeah, they always mean something.
Yeah, 20 years later, I have a handwritten note. I never throw it away. Yeah. Kind of like that with a video, is that they're never going to throw it away. It's going to be there forever. So I will tell you, that's fantastic. Sherry, do we have questions coming in for Jeff?
I have one to answer from Jade. She asked
Yeah.
about obviously using a tripod for stationary videos, which yes, and if you don't have a tripod, just prop your phone up somewhere, just set it somewhere.
Yeah.
Or
somebody hold it.
Or somebody hold it, but even then they can be shaky too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But
unless it's Sherry Maher. Sherry Maher is like the best videographer ever.
Cool Hand Luke. That's right. So, but then she talks about doing like a walkthrough of a house. And the answer to that question is, number one, just holding a tripod versus holding the phone is more stable for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. But if you can afford it, get a stabilizer. Just get a Smove, or there's so many products out there. I would get a stabilizer because it makes all the difference in the world when you're walking through a house and it has just nice, smooth, sexy transitions. That's what you want. They're like $100, $100 to $150.
Yeah, there's also a Smooth or swivel. Here's the thing: is if I had my druthers, if I had my wish for everybody on here for video, is have somebody else video you, because it keeps your hands free and you are in a mode of just like being normal. If you have to hold the phone, or you've got it propped up and then it slips and falls or whatever it may be. And when there's just an interest point when somebody's holding it up at 6 foot, or 5'5", and even if there is a little bit of movement, it's more interesting. I think it's more real. If I see it and all I'm doing is looking up into your, chin, it just has a different different feel. But if it's straight on or even a little bit above, then it just seems more real. It's like we're actually like me and you. Like I am not sitting on the ground looking up at the screen, right? I'm in a chair like I would be sitting across the table. You are standing up, and literally we could be at my kitchen bar right now. Yeah. I'd be sitting down on the bar stool, but look at the eye level. Yeah. You're looking right at me and I'm looking right at you. Right. And so there's something that's real about looking straight ahead. 100%. So there's something.
That brings up a good point too. And when you're shooting video with your camera, be very cognizant of where the eye of the camera is. Yeah. Normally, most people shoot video with the screen facing them. You're looking at yourself. Right. But if you're looking at yourself, it's like you're looking over my shoulder. So if I'm your audience, your eyes are just like here. Would you do that in person? The answer is no. You're going to make eye contact, right? So find the eye of the camera. One little tip that I give to people is take a little Post-it note or a little sticky, put a little sticky right next to the eye. Don't cover it, next to it. So it focuses, it keeps you focused on where the eye of the camera is, because you always should be looking at your audience. It just, again, it makes it more personal when you do that.
Yeah. So for instance, I'm on my computer on my Zoom now, and my camera is actually on a tripod above the screen. So I actually have to do two things. Like one, I look at where I'm looking right now is you. Yep. But this is me looking into the camera. And this is what I do like 90% of the time, even though I can't necessarily see you. Yeah. But it's like, I want it to be a real conversation. So it's like, I've got to look at the camera, and I've got to look at you, right? I look at you for the nonverbals, for the meaning of the message, that kind of thing. And then I look up. And here's the other thing is this is a great technique that I got from a guy who produced Pretty Woman, right? Gary Goldstein is his name. And he gave me the suggestion on this that I do is when you're talking, I look at you. When I'm talking, I look into the camera. Yep. And it's like that has served, like that one little tip has served me so well forever. Yep. So let's see, it says here, if you're wanting to build an audience and brand ambassadors, what's the frequency you recommend to do videos, and is live or pre-recorded better? And that's from Tommy Sandvik out of Orlando, Florida.
Both is the answer. So frequency, first of all, you can't force it necessarily. Obviously, you've got to have something to talk about. Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm probably putting out 3 to 5 videos a week. I'm not saying that you're going to go from 0 to 3 to 5 a week. That's probably not realistic. But just getting in the habit of doing at least 1 video a week, at least. And I would sprinkle in, if you're comfortable with live, I would do at least a couple lives a month. If you're not comfortable, just make it a point to do 1 live a month. Get comfortable. I can tell you, I did a live yesterday, and I do lives all the time. I still get nervous when I do them. So just so everybody knows, that's normal. And just to give you an example, this is actually a great video example. I had a new suit come in. It's a custom suit that's branded to me. That's got my logo on it. And I knew this was coming, so I did a live video. This is my way of giving content that's really personal, but also kind of subliminally branding. It was like a business video, but it really wasn't.
Right.
That's just an idea of something that you can do. And if you go watch it, it was a live yesterday. I let in with a hook. Yeah. And then I kind of just showed my excitement because UPS came to the house, and I was excited because I'm always excited when they show up at my house.
Right.
And that's just a good example. But so when it comes to frequency, I would say at least one live a month, maybe two and more if you're comfortable. And then I would say at least 1 to 2 videos a week. But again, we're talking social here.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget, you can be using video as a medium to communicate with all of your customers. Text, email, through social, whatever. And that's 1-to-1, which also is a great place to practice video because it's not putting it out to the masses. So if you get comfortable just talking to your customers, especially now, because you can't meet with them, gosh, it's so golden. And that there is no frequency. It's like as often as possible.
Jeff, I have a real quick question, and we've gone much longer today, but you're so interesting and conversational. This is such great content and so applicable to today. People are more interested in video right now than they've ever been. And I'm talking everybody, and including, so like when I record a video, like in Zoom or on my phone, it's like super heavy, especially if I record it in 4K or something like that. So do you know of a way to compress that or make it easier to send? Is there a hack on that, or do you know?
No, I mean, the best way so longer videos, of course, become too large, whether it's on your cell phone or in Zoom.
Right.
The best way to share them is either through Google Drive or Dropbox. That's how I do it for the most part. There really is no really good way. Another hack is to create a YouTube channel. That's what I do. So I will share, like we'll record a sales meeting. Yeah. And I will upload it to YouTube. I'll title it and put all my little tags, and then I will snip a picture of like a thumbnail basically, and then I will copy and paste it into my email, and then I right click on the image, and then you put in a hyperlink, which is the link to the YouTube channel. So that's a good way to share.
That's a huge hack. That's a great hack.
It's an easy
we
way
do
to
that
do
for
it.
our Infusionsoft emails and that kind of thing. And it's just more, even if it says click here, even if the picture isn't necessarily a snapshot even if it's just something that says click here or whatever, something for them to click, and it's an active hyperlink is a great.
It's a way to share an hour-long video basically in an easy way. Plus you're driving people to your YouTube channel. That's right. And you're going to get some subscribers. That's kind of the goal, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I will tell you that's what we do with our Referrals podcast is, if people go to youtube.com/7LTV or the 7L TV channel, then all of our podcasts like this one are recorded, and you can actually see it as well as hear it. I know a lot of people are listening to this on a podcast form. And I encourage you to go to YouTube or join the Generosity Generation group at joingengen.com. We'd love to have you. Over 4,000 strong in 3 weeks. It's been amazing how this has grown with great people, and I appreciate the members for making that happen. And Jeff, I just have to say we're going to wrap this up, even though there's so much more. So how do people get a hold of you, or what's their next step for building a relationship with you? How do they learn more about you and video?
Social media, 100%. If we're not friends on Facebook, go friend me or go follow me, whichever one. I consistently get to 5,000, and then I'll go in and kind of expunge some people, and I'll open it up. Or you can follow. IG has no limits. You can go follow me. I post a ton of content to IG. Of course, you can go subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then obviously I mentioned TikTok and LinkedIn, but I think the most personal platforms are more Facebook, Instagram, and actually TikTok. But I also share a lot of my TikToks back to Facebook and Instagram. That's a whole nother topic for another day. I'm very passionate about TikTok and the future of TikTok and its importance in our industry. But we'll save that for another day.
Let's save that for another conversation, because I would be the critical side of that. So I think it would be a really good conversation. I heard one lady say that the only people that are on TikTok are teenagers and sexual predators. And at first I was like, oh crap, that is a really harsh statement.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where it's like, it's like, that is another conversation for another day. If you want more on TikTok, TikTok, put it below, and we'll see about bringing Jeff on again on TikTok, which is China's ability to take all of our data. I'm kidding. So, China couldn't get enough with the Wuhan virus, so they invented TikTok. Yeah. I'm just kidding. So, but I will tell you that one last comment on all of this that I'd really like to throw out there is that, what you don't want to do is have one of your videos go viral without a call to action. So just the big part for me that I got out of this that I really would like is just the hook, the intro, the story, and the call to action. And if you just follow that little loose kind of structure, then your videos will be more shareable. They'll be better for you to do because you have a structure, and just have fun with it. Smile, that kind of thing. And
Consistency too.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, if I can say this, if you go viral on something or something performs really well, and then you just go dark for 2 weeks, it totally defeated the purpose.
Yeah. Then you're ghosting, right? Then you're just dating. I mean, we relate referral generation with dating all the time because it is so similar, So anyway, I got to end this thing, Jeff. I swear to God.
Sorry.
You and I could literally, it's like Sean Rawls yesterday. We went an hour yesterday, and I promised people like 30 minutes. It's just like, that's the thing about today, right? Yeah. It's just like, we actually have time to talk.
Yeah, true.
That the quarantine time, that's my PS for the day, is I'm pleasantly surprised that, we actually have time to talk to the best people in the world. And this is no excuse. Jeff Fitzer, Pfitzer at USA Mortgage and several other places. You guys got to check this guy out on social media. You can learn a ton from this guy. Jeff, thank you so much for being our guest on the Daily Dose of Positivity and Productivity today.
It's fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm just going to end right now. Don't worry about the ending announcements. You do know you got to get your 125 identified this week, and you've got to get your 50 VIP forms done by the end of this week. But otherwise, check the events section of the Generosity Generation group for our special above and beyond events. And we will see you tomorrow. I will tell you, you're going to want to be here. It's Sherry Maher's birthday tomorrow. It's Earth Day tomorrow. It's Miles's birthday tomorrow. It is Sherry Maher. Are you kidding me? Like, my secret weapon. I am revealing my secret weapon tomorrow on the Daily Dose. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for you to be here. I will see you tomorrow on the Daily Dose. Thanks, everybody.